So, as you guys probably already know, the NFL schedule came out a couple days ago. And like I said in my previous video, this is not a prediction video. So if you're expecting a prediction video, sorry, this is not it. I just do not believe in making predictions before the draft. Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, what if the Texans go and land, I don't know, let's say Greedy Williams in the first round, and then Dalton Reisner falls in the second, and they pick up Dalton Reisner, and then they pick up, I don't know, some other good offensive tackle like Justin in the second round. Or, let's say the Texans done goof and they pick something dumb like an edge rusher in the first round, and then they pick a wide receiver. So, like, if the Texans go with the first scenario, obviously they'd be a better team than if they went with the second scenario. So, you really don't know what these teams are going to be yet until after the draft. You don't know what they're going to draft in the first round. I mean, you can make some guesses, but again, you really don't know what's going to happen. We just got to wait till after the draft. After the draft is when I'll drop my prediction video, and it'll probably come later on during the offseason. It won't be like right away. So if you were expecting a prediction video, I'm sorry. That's coming after the draft. What I just want to talk about today is just the schedule, how I feel about it, and all that fun stuff. Now, obviously, week 1, we play at New Orleans on Monday Night Football versus the Saints. And, when I first seen that, I was like, yikes, dude. But something that made me feel better about this game is that apparently the Saints haven't won their home or their season opener since like 2014 or 2013, somewhere around there. So they haven't won their season opener in quite a while because apparently they start off slow. That's what the Saints fans are saying. So, that gave me a little hope for this game. However, it's still a tough game nonetheless. Week 2, the Texans come home to Houston to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't really think this game is that tough, honestly. I mean, at this point, Nick Foles is still getting adjusted to, this new team. He's still feeling out his offense. That defense isn't the defense it was 2 years ago, and one draft can't fix that. Their offense has pretty much holes all over in the skill positions. And again, one draft isn't going to fill all the holes for Jacksonville. I see this game being a very winnable game. Week 3, the Texans travel to Los Angeles. I was about to say San Diego, but they travel to LA to take on the Chargers. And this is a very tough game. I mean, Phillip Rivers, hell of a quarterback. They have a bunch of receiving weapons. They have Melvin Gordon. They have a pretty good defense. Derwin James back there, Casey Hayward, Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. So this is a very talented team. Definitely a tough game. Week 4, come back to Houston and take on the Panthers. The Texans, they've only played Cam Newton twice, but both of those times that they played Cam Newton, they really, 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 really struggled against him. Yes, the Panthers team isn't all that good. They lack weapons. Their O-line isn't too good. Defensively, they're really not all that scary anymore. But Cam Newton has always gave the Texans problems, and I don't see anything changing here. I think Cam will give the Texans some problems again, and I think it's going to be a tough game. Week 5, the Texans are home again to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Another tough game. They got a bunch of weapons on offense. Defensively, not that impressive, but offensively, they're a high-powered offense. They can score against anyone at will. I mean, Julio Jones, one of the best wide receivers in the league. The guy's just downright dominant. Currently, I don't think the Texans have a corner on their roster that can stop Julio. And then week 6, the Texans travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. And again, it is going to be a really tough game. Chiefs last year, you saw their offense defensively. Not too scary. Not scary at all, actually. Their defense took a huge step back with the losses they had in free agency. I mean, they cut Houston. They lost Nelson. They traded D Ford. And all they brought in was the liability Honey Badger. So defensively, they took a huge step back. But offensively, I still expect them to be a high-powered offense. So this is going to be a tough game, especially, having to travel to Kansas City. One of the better, home field advantages in the NFL. And then week 7, we travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. And again, tough game. Really tough game. You guys saw what they did to us in the playoffs last year. I know you guys probably don't want to hear that, but it is what it is. They handled us pretty well, and I expect this to be another very, very tough game. Week 8, okay, so obviously from week 1 all the way to week 7, I pretty much said every game is a very tough game besides one. So I said the Saints game was tough, the Chargers game was tough, the Panthers, Falcons, Chiefs game, and Colts game were all tough. Because they are. But we knew that coming into the schedule before the schedule officially released. We knew who our opponents were, and we knew the schedule was going to be tough. So it's absolutely nothing new to us. Now, week 8, we come back home to take on the Raiders. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that much of a tough game. I feel pretty comfortable about this game. Week 9, the Texans travel to London to take on the Jaguars. Now, I know week 2 I said the Jaguars weren't going to be a tough team. Well, here in week 9 in London, I think this is going to be a very tough game. The Jaguars, at this point, they're probably going to be clicking already. And obviously, them playing in London every single year, they're going to be used to the whole traveling over there, waking up early, and all that stuff. Because imagine, the game's at 8:30 a.m. for us. Our typical games for the Texans start at 12. The Texans players probably wake up at around 7 to get ready for the game. Imagine them waking up like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to get ready for the game. So they're not used to that. They're not used to the jet lag. They're not used to the traveling that far. So I think this is going to be one of the tougher games on our schedule. Now, week 10, we got a bye week, and I absolutely love it. Whenever you could get the bye week around week 9, 10, 11, 12, I think that's a perfect spot, near the middle of the season, so you could get healthy again. If you're missing a few players, you can fix some stuff that you need to do on the second half of the season to improve your team, and you could change what you do with that little bye week. If something's not working, you can fix it during the bye week, and I just think that's a perfect spot for the bye week. Now, week 11, the Texans travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. I don't think that's much of a tough game. And week 12, Thursday Night Football against the Colts in Houston. It's going to be a tough game, but I think it's a manageable game too. Week 13, the Texans play the Patriots in Houston on Sunday Night Football, and I think this is a very winnable game. I think this season, if all goes well, if the Texans are mostly healthy, week 13, when they take on the Patriots, the Texans can easily beat the Patriots. And then week 14, Texans take on the Broncos. It's not in Denver. Joe Flacco isn't good. If the Broncos draft a rookie quarterback, I doubt he's going to be good. Because I don't like any of the rookies in this draft class besides Haskin, but I don't think the Broncos get him. So I think this is a very winnable game. I mean, we did have a little 3-game home stretch right there from Indianapolis, New England, and Denver. I really like that. And then, to close out the season, we play the Titans in Tennessee, the Buccaneers in Tampa, and then we come home to close the season off versus Tennessee. So those last 3 games, those are really, really easy. Now, obviously, those first 7 games feels like a gauntlet. It looks like a gauntlet. It's so tough. But we knew that coming in, like I said. We knew that coming in, so there's really not much you could do about it. We knew the schedule was going to be tough. And if the Texans are going to be a good team, if they want to be considered one of the upper tier teams, elite teams, they're going to have to win some of these games, man. Because if they lose to every single good team on here, see, if you include the Saints, Chargers, Panthers, Falcons, Chiefs, the Colts twice, the Patriots, those are 8 teams. Those are 8 losses. 8 wins don't get you in the playoffs. So the Texans are going to have to perform this season. They're going to have to bring their A game. And I think they can do it as long as the draft goes properly. Like I said, I'm not going to predict their record till after the draft. Because, right now, certain games I might not feel comfortable with certain matchups. But the draft could change some of those matchups, So I'm not going to predict any of that. And we already knew the schedule was going to be tough going into the season. So what do I have to say about the schedule? I like it. I mean, perfect bye week. We can easily close out with 4 wins, maybe 5 wins. Close out December on a winning streak. I mean, Tennessee twice. The Buccaneers right there. Denver at home. Those are all winnable games. And then we upset New England. Actually, I have something to show you guys right now. But if we beat New England as well, we could close out December on a 5-game win streak. I believe the Texans can do that. I believe the start of the season might be a little rough. Texans, are going to still be trying to kind of get their feet wet, adjust to everything, get everything going. And, the beginning might be rough, but I think this schedule is probably as good as we could have asked for because we knew it was going to be tough. But at least the end of the schedule after the bye week is very manageable and very easy. The one thing I do not like about the schedule, though, is week 7 when we play the Colts. The Colts are coming off their bye week, so the Colts are going to have an extra week to prepare for us. So that's the only gripe I have about our schedule. Now, I do have something else to show you guys. And this goes to pretty much everyone that's predicting, oh man, the Texans are gonna go 7-9. The Texans are gonna go 6-10. Oh man, the Texans are screwed. Look at this chart. This chart right here is by Vegas. As of right now, these are the win probabilities for every team, for every game. The Texans, by Vegas, at the moment, are projected to lose 6 games. Now, these are just projections. Obviously, the Texans are going to lose a game or 2 that they're expected to win, but they're also going to win a game or 2 that they're expected to lose. For example, Week 15, for whatever reason, the Texans are expected to lose in Tennessee versus the Titans. The Texans are most likely going to sweep the Titans. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. The Titans, their talent level compared to the Texans, their coaching level compared to the Texans, is bottom tier. The Titans are most likely going to finish at the bottom of the division. And that's just me being 100% honest. So if Vegas thinks, as of right now, that we're likely to win 9 to 10 games, and I say 9 to 10 because the Baltimore game is considered a 50-50 game because it's literally a 50% win probability as of right now. If that's right now, imagine when the Texans go and draft, if they draft well. That's why I say a lot of these are going to change if the Texans draft well or they draft bad. So I really wouldn't trip about the schedule. I know a lot of people have been like terrified of the schedule. We knew the schedule was coming, and we're about to find out if the Texans actually belong to be in those discussions. And there's going to be a make it or break it year for O'Brien because 9-7 ain't going to cut it. It's not. Just making the playoffs ain't going to cut it. There is no way this season O'Brien can avoid winning against good teams. This season, to make the playoffs, O'Brien will have to win against good teams. And we'll see if the Texans and O'Brien can deliver. If he can't, then he's fired. We'll see how it all goes. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.